Have you ever had your husband's mom call you a downgrade? We got married 2 years ago. His mother lived 20 minutes away, so I saw her constantly, and she made it clear from day one that I wasn't good enough. She brought up his ex-girlfriend Veronica at every family dinner. How Veronica was a lawyer. How Veronica wore designer clothes. How Veronica's family had a vacation home on the coast. Meanwhile, I was a nurse who shopped at discount stores, and my family owned nothing but debt. Every Sunday dinner, she looked at my cooking and said things like, Veronica made the most incredible beef Wellington. Or she saw my Nissan and mentioned how Veronica drove a luxury BMW. My husband told her to stop, but she just smiled and said she was making conversation. Last month, things got worse. She found Veronica on social media and started showing me photos. She said, look how gorgeous she still is. Look at these pictures from last year. My husband grabbed the phone and told her that was enough. She said I was being too sensitive, that comparing me to successful women would motivate me to improve myself. I just sat there and took it like always. Later, I checked Veronica's page myself and noticed she kept posting the same old photos over and over, which seemed weird. Then out of nowhere, Veronica started texting my husband. Just casual stuff at first, asking how he was doing. He showed me immediately, but something felt wrong about her timing after 2 years of no contact. Then the texts got stranger. She said she was going through a rough patch. Her job was stressful. She missed having someone who understood her. My husband kept the responses short and polite, but she kept pushing. Then she asked if she could call him to talk through some work drama. He said no. She asked if they could get coffee to catch up. He said no. She said she needed a friend right now, and he owed her that much after their history. He blocked her number, but then she started calling from different phones. She emailed his work address she'd saved from when they dated. She messaged him on professional networking sites saying she was having a crisis and needed help. Each message sounded more unhinged than the last, and I was getting really worried about where this was heading. My mother-in-law found out because Veronica reached out to her too, playing the accomplished ex who just wanted to check in on the family. She called me immediately, practically giggling with excitement. Veronica's been texting. She wants to reconnect with the family. Isn't that wonderful? I told her Veronica was harassing my husband, and he'd already blocked her. She laughed and told me I was being dramatic. Professional women don't harass people. She's just being friendly. 2 days later, Veronica showed up at my husband's office building. Security had to escort her out because she was crying and wouldn't leave the lobby. My husband called me from his car, and I'd never heard him sound that freaked out before. That night, Veronica sent an email to his personal account from a new address. She said she was having some financial troubles with a client matter. She needed to borrow money, just $10,000 to get through a rough spot. My husband just stared at the screen, and we both wondered what was really going on. My mother-in-law called again. Veronica reached out to me directly. She sounds stressed about work. Maybe we should help her. There was this weird excitement in her voice that made me realize she was enjoying this whole situation. I told her Veronica was clearly unstable and she needed to stop encouraging this. She told me I was jealous of a woman who had real problems while I complained about nothing. Sunday dinner came around. My mother-in-law had texted that morning insisting we couldn't miss it because she had something special planned. We walked in and she was absolutely glowing. She announced, I have a surprise. I invited someone special to join us. She'd obviously reached out to Veronica after all their texting. Before we could respond, Veronica walked out of the kitchen holding a bottle of wine. But she wasn't the polished lawyer from her carefully curated Instagram. Her hair was unwashed and matted. Her designer dress had wine stains down the front. She reeked of alcohol even from across the room. She slurred, baby, I missed you so much. My husband stepped back in disgust. She started crying these ugly, loud, theatrical tears that made everyone uncomfortable. Please, we had something special, didn't we? We can start over. My mother-in-law's face started changing as she watched this complete mess unfold in her dining room. This wasn't the polished lawyer she'd been defending for months. Veronica grabbed my husband's arm frantically. She said, your wife doesn't have to know. We can meet in secret, just like you wanted. My husband yanked his arm away. He said, I never wanted anything. You're lying. Then Veronica turned to my mother-in-law, mascara streaming down her face. You said you'd help me. You said he still loved me. You promised. My mother-in-law stepped back in horror. Veronica screamed, the firm fired me 6 months ago. They said I stole client money. I need $50,000 for lawyers or I'm going to prison. My husband got his phone out to call for help as Veronica started getting hysterical while his mom stood frozen. My mother-in-law apologized yesterday. She doesn't come to Sunday dinners anymore. She called me the best thing that happened to her son.